Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, guys. My name is Ollie. This is another match review. Back in the county shirt this time. This is a match review for Swindon Town versus Newport County. Unfortunately, not the best result, losing 1-0. But I've got some thoughts from you guys. We'll have a look through some stats and we'll see if we can figure out where we went wrong with it all. Starting off with the lineup, I think the big talking point here is Cameron Norman coming in as a right-sided centre-back over someone like a Drysdale or a Bennett. Is it a tactical decision so we can get both Lewises into the squad? Is it a matter that James Roby doesn't really trust Declan Drysdale? Because I think anyone who's watched him this season knows he's a bit accident prone at times. You know, he's still quite young. He's not really played a full season due to injuries, and he's not really had that time to embed himself into a defence like Norman has. So there's a few talking points around Norman being in there. I think the midfield was perfect. Wilmot and Nathan Mariah Wealth behind Aaron Wildig. Bogle and Evans up front. Evans was another interesting choice. I know he did well against Leyton Orient, but you've got the likes of Collins and Azimba on the bench. What's better, really? A half-fit Evans or a fully fit Collins or Azimba? So, a few talking points. I still don't feel like James Roby knows his best 11. Maybe when we get the likes of Thierry Nevers and Ofrande Zanzala back, we'll start to see a more consistent 11. I think I'd be happy with that midfield three for the rest of the games. Occasionally subbing in a Bennett or a Lindley, possibly a Waite. I think we're 95% of the way there with the lineup, but still some little selection choices to iron out. So after the match, we put out a tweet. A night where we weren't fully there, some promising flashes, but on the whole, underwhelming. What's your thoughts? You can start off with Newport County, USA. Our brothers from across the pond. They said, moments that could have gone our way, and Collins certainly could use some good bounces. Tough to always expect points on the road against a decent side, but we are one quarter of the way through the season. I'm not sure we've made much progress towards finding a consistent style. To which the County Doc commented, we do have a consistent style and it's awful. Midfield and consequently possession is surrendered. We'll get relegated with this team unless we change the manager who doesn't even seem to know his best team. Again, agreeing with the County Doc there a bit. I don't think James Roby knows his best team. Whether it's a case of not having all the players at one time or, you know, tactical decisions, stuff like that, you're never really sure. But I think both are quite good. You know, the county ground is a very difficult place to go to. I know last season was a bit of a smash and grab job with Finnazaz, so, you know, you can never really expect an easy game at Swindon, and I think us not knowing our best 11 makes that a little bit harder. Beefy at 365 Days of Sport. I'm now convinced our impotent midfield over the past 12 months are coaching / management deficiencies and not necessarily wholly personnel issues, although we are certainly lacking there. League 2 is a hard, tough league, and we aren't hard, tough or clever, unfortunately. I think that's an excellent point. If you look at Michael Flynn at Walsall or Steve Evans at Stevenage, they have built teams full of tall, strong, aggressive bastards, essentially. People who aren't going to shy away. People who are going to be a bit dirty, play a bit aggressive. You know, a Joss Labardi style player. That's what Stevenage and Walsall have got in abundance, and that's why they're doing well this season. That's why they're picking up points, especially Stevenage. Stevenage are well coached. They've got the physicality. We all know League 2 is a physical league. It's why players like Josh Sheehan never did well. It'd be harsh to say he never did well, but he never reached his full potential because it's a physical league. You need to be told, you need to have a bit of meat on your bones to actually, win a challenge in League Two, and I think that's certainly what we're lacking. Paul Williams, thought after 10 minutes we were going to get battered, improved thereafter. Thought Adam Lewis played well. Hate criticising keepers, too easy to do, but Nick's distribution was poor, looked generally wobbly, and was at fault for the goal. We don't shoot enough. Again, excellent points. Nick Townsend wasn't his best performance last night. If we look on SofaScore at the stats, if it wants to load up, I think another point of contention so far this season has been, whether it's Nick Townsend in goal or whether it's Joe Day in goal. If we go over to goalkeeper, if you look at it from this point of view, Nick Townsend made 7 saves, and Solomon Bryn only made 3. So stats are a bit deceiving, but if we look at Nick Townsend across the season, God, he looks young in that photo, doesn't he? If we look at Nick Townsend's stats across the season, he's conceding 1.3 goals a game, only making 2.3 saves a game. This is the big stats for me here, highlighting on the right. Goals conceded 16. Goals conceded from inside the box 12. Saves made 27. It's not good enough, really. I think the main metric it comes down to, for me, the important one, is if we look at the table, we've scored 12, we've conceded 16. You won't do well if you're conceding more goals than you're scoring. I think that's a bit of logic, a bit of common sense. If you look at Leyton Orient, they've scored 19, conceded 6. Stevenage scored 17, conceded 10. Goals win you games. That's the long and short of it in League Two. If we look at the game from a stats point of view, then on the left here, again, losing possession, like Beefy said, we're not really there with the possession. Total shots, they absolutely hammered us. More shots on target. They had more corner kicks. I think this section here, really, big chances. They've had 1 counter-attacks. They've taken more shots. Pretty level on shots inside the box, but shots outside the box, 12-3. And you can spin that and say, the defence were good. It pushed them into a place where they had to take those shots from range, but where they're getting the shots off, they're getting the confidence, and that's where teams thrive. This is the big one as well for me. Passes 540 to 232, with accurate passes 82% to 59. The midfield has been the constant problem, and it's a problem time and time again. We're not passing the ball. We're not getting the ball from defence to attack using the midfield. We're just going hoofball over the top. I think the downfall of James Ropery is going to be not having a solid midfield, and we're starting to see it already. If we look at the bench, we've got Wilmot, Nathan Murray-Wells, Wildig, Bennett, Lindley, Waite. Evans can fall back into there. Dolan can come in, but he's not been the best, as we saw at Stevenage. I feel like the midfield is really where we're struggling, and unless we turn it around soon, the table's not looking good. We're on 11 points after 12 games. A few teams have got games in hand. We're starting to fall away from the playoffs, 9 points out. I think the one thing that we do have in our favour at the moment is our next few games are definitely winnable games. If we look here, we've got Rochdale, we've got Crawley, and I believe after that we've got Colchester. So games we should be winning, Rochdale haven't been great, but it's whether we can actually turn things around. But as always, it comes back to you. Let me know your comments over there, your thoughts down in the comments below. Leave a like, subscribe, share it with your friends. Let me know what we need to change for Saturday, and hopefully James Roby will have a little watch and have a little read. As always, my name's been Ollie, and up the county. Ollie!